everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels Podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-hosts, Micah.
Hey.
And Terrence.
What's up?
What is up is that, Terrence, you look like you've been a busy guy when it comes to playing some new shit.
Yeah, I had like 60-something in PSN credit, or whatever you want to call it, bucks. And there's a sale. There's this hidden gem sale going on now.
You have PlayStation money just sitting in your account?
And wasn't shit I wanted to play.
Who does?
Look.
Was this like Christmas money or birthday money that you just had?
I got what the fuck? I guess some shit from. I think I got an Amazon thing for my birthday, and I bought it. Whatever. I don't remember, but it was there, and I'm like, oh, cool. I'm going ahead and use it. Anyway, don't judge me. Anyway, yeah, I got 3 games. Hong Kong Massacre was the first one I got. That game is a top-down. Have either of you heard about it? Know what it is at all? No. You know what Hotline in Miami is, right?
Yeah.
You drop in the level, you got to kill everybody as fast as possible. Not getting one bullet will take you out, kind of thing. This is the same thing. It's very similar, but it's like super stylized. You play a dude that's getting revenge for the death of his wife and child. So they drop you in a level, whether it be in an apartment building, in a hotel, and you just got to kill all the enemies in there. You have a slowdown. You have a button that slows down time. You have like a action button where you do flips and slides and shit. And you got to get through the level without dying. And again, one bullet kills you. That's pretty much it. Like, I would look it up to see what it looks like. It's dope. It's fun. Mm-hmm. I'm terrible at it. But it's fun. That was.
Is it as charming as Hotline Miami?
Well, Hotline Miami, charming. Like, it's way darker. Like, well, Hotline Miami is like incredibly violent.
But it's like,
but in like a hyper fun way. Yeah, it's hyper. Yeah.
So
and it harkens back to like the 80s, like movies and shit. This one is like a hard boiled type because you're playing Asian dude. It's a lot of red. It looks really good, like the particle effects and shit flying all over the place when you slow time down to get through the levels. It looks dope. It looks really dope. It was like $7.
Does at one point do you slide down a banister with a baby in one hand and a gun in the other?
What was that? What was that? What was the name of that fucking movie? A Shootout
with Chow Yun Fat.
Yeah. I thought that was a different movie.
I'll find it.
Was that Hard Boiled?
Yeah, that was Hard Boiled.
Was it? Yeah.
John Woo stole the banister slide that was originated in Octopussy into one of his films. All right then. James Bond did that first. So
another game I bought. Well, Micah talked about this last year, I believe. I don't know. Was it last year? Earlier this year. It came out like October last year or something.
Yeah, it came out. I think I got it in like November. So.
Okay. Children of Morta. This is a rogue-like light. Whatever. I don't know what the fuck one it is. Whatever. You play a family, and you just kind of go through dungeons to kill stuff and collect stuff and level up your characters. Now the thing about it is once you die, you go back to the mansion and you got to start over again. The thing about this one is there's like a really good story to it. Very good story. And the narrator is awesome. Think about Bastion, like how good the narrator is in Bastion. It's very similar. When you die, you go back to their home, and there's always like a little cutscene of them doing something. Whether it be one kid training, or the father like building a house for a dog that you find in the mines or in the caverns. Each character, there's 6 players. There's 6 characters. I think I finally unlocked the last one yesterday. The big dude with the hammer. I don't remember all of the names. He's good. My favorite is Kevin, the martial artist. Is that Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my favorite right now. He's the martial artist. I mean, it's a roguelike. Like, it's got the same things that all of them have, but it's just like it has a very good story. And you actually give a fuck about this family. Like
Yeah, you kind of do.
yeah, like I got the little girl, like she was training. She's the magician or she's the mage. I got the little girl. I tried to play with her and I'm like, ooh, this is kind of rough because she can't move. But I assume like once you level people up, you go back because they don't let you play the same person. Well, they do, but they lose health. They get corrupted and they have to rest so they can get their 100% health back. So I played with her. I'm like, I don't like her, but I can assume like once you level up other characters, they get family traits as well. So I assume if I can unlock a couple more family traits and go back to her and level her up, she'll probably be very good because that's the same thing that happened with Linda. Linda's the archer. I'm like, I don't really like Linda, but once I leveled her up a little bit more, she became really good actually.
Yeah.
Mark is Mark the assassin? The little kid, the younger brother.
I can't remember.
Like I don't remember the names. There's Mark, Linda, Kevin.
Like the very just real
generic.
regular ass.
Yeah, they're all generic ass names. It's a good game. Like if you like roguelikes or roguelites and Diablo, I don't see why you wouldn't pick this up.
Are you saying it's definitely worth spending $14.73 on?
Absolutely, that's what I paid.
That's probably happening in. Like,
oh yeah, exactly. It's like, and on this, I really wish and these two games, I wish I had a fucking Switch. I don't know if Hong Kong Massacre is on Switch.
It's not because I looked at it
uh-huh.
and then I was like, wow, this looks fucking cool, right? And then I looked for it on the Switch and I do not see it. So
damn. Oh, you'll like Children of Morta, Brad. I can't imagine why.
I'm going to play it. So
and the last game is Void Bastards. This is another roguelike game. Made by some members of the BioShock team. This game is cool. It's a first-person shooter. You play a prisoner that is essentially tasked with collecting shit for some corporation. You're in jail for whatever the fuck you did. So you go from like ship to there's a grid where there's a bunch of ships, and in order to collect things, you have to go to these ships. You go to the first ship, and you got to collect food and ammunition and things like that. But it's very British. Like all of the enemies on the ships have British accents. They're just regular workers on the ships that have gone, I don't know if they're going rogue or whatever, but there's a lot of dangers on the ships. Once you die, since this is a rogue, like you are going to die, they just give you another prisoner. And then you got to go. But everything that you've collected up until then, the other prisoners get. So like once you collect guns and other shit, you keep all of that, but you just have a different prisoner. And each prisoner has different traits. Like the last person I got, he was good at hacking turrets, but he had a smoker's cough. So when you go onto the ship, like if you're trying to sneak around and they go start coughing and they were like, yo, who the fuck is that? It's fucked up. There's other guys like when you throw a grenade, they don't trip grenades. They don't trip any kind of security measures. And it's all randomized. Like every level, every ship is random. But once you go to a ship, you have to decide whether you want to go through every room or not. And also each ship has a hull. So when you go to the hull, you download the schematics for the ship and it shows you what all of the items that you need to pick up are. If you want to try to go through the entire ship, you can't see where enemies are. So if you're going through the ship and you say, oh, there's an item there that I want to pick up. If you open the door, there could be like 6 or 7 enemies and you're fucked because you don't have enough ammo. So you kind of have to decide, do I want to go to try to clear this whole ship, or I have enough that I need right now so I can go back to my ship so I can travel to another one? Because the food, each time you travel, you need fuel and food. Each time you travel, you use one of each. If you run out of food and fuel, but you made it out of the level that you're in, you go to another ship, but you drift. And once you drift to that ship, you're starving. So you better hope there's food on the ship that you land on, or you're gonna die, or fuel. So it's like a balance between, hey, should I do this or do that? It's another good game, very good game. That's also on Switch. Like if you want to look into that one too.
So 3 for 3.
Yeah, just bought Hong Kong Massacre.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I'm telling you, it's a little frustrating, but it's cool. Void Bastard. All 3 of these games are really good. I'm happy with all 3 purchases.
Void Bastard seems like one that I'd wait for a sale because I don't know.
It is on sale.
30. Wait,
no, wait.
Is it sale price?
No, I got it on PlayStation.
Okay, maybe on PlayStation sale. On Switch,
I think it was like 15.
That's not bad. Looks like a game I'd rather play on
PlayStation.
PlayStation anyways. A twin stick shooter.
Yeah.
Or, well,
Probably
not
better
shooter,
suited.
but a dual analog.
It just came out on PlayStation, I think, last week. No, wait, did I? Hold on one second. This might not be on sale.
While you're looking at that, did I mention the new character in Slay the Spire last week? Because I had messed around with that. So they added the Watcher, who's been on PC for a while, but they finally added her to the Switch version. She's very difficult to use because her mechanic is that she has these different stances that you can switch to during the fight. So like there's like a calm stance, which doesn't actually do anything. Like it doesn't give you any bonus effects, but whenever you leave that stance, you get 2 extra action points to spend that turn. And then there's like I believe it's called Wrath, where you deal double damage when you're in that stance, but you also take double damage. So like there's kind of a balancing act between like going into Wrath during your turn so that you can deal a shitload of damage, but then taking yourself out before the enemy gets to act, so that you're not, eating as much damage, and then kind of like activating Calm when it's opportune and exiting that stance, when you can put a big turn together. Very fascinating deck building options, because a lot of the cards that she has are kind of centered around using that mechanic and kind of tweaking it. I had like a really fun deck that I just got a shitload of action points every single turn, and just kept comboing it back and forth. And I actually made it all the way to the top of the Spire in like my second game with her, doing that kind of stuff. So it's pretty fun if you play Slay the Spire, especially as much as I have, and you've been looking for a reason to get back into it. Definitely check out the new character. It's free. It's just a free update to the game. There's not anything additional you have to pay for. And I'm happy to have stuff to chase to unlock again in the game, because I already unlocked everything basically a while ago, because I put like 60 hours into that game so far. So it's really fun.
I just looked it up. Void Bastards is $30. It came out like last week on the PlayStation, on PS4, but it's been out for a year on the Switch and
Really? Okay.
Xbox One.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard a thing about it. See, this is why
I wanted to play it last year, but it wasn't on. I didn't have a system. I didn't have the system to play.
Who'd have thought when we started this podcast that Terrence would become like the de facto indie game correspondent?
They're good, man. Like they're cheaper, and they're usually better than the AAA games. The AAA games that have been out for the last couple of years.
It's doing more
You
with
have to-
that, basically.
Yeah,
You have to pronounce it
AAA. I like that dude.
I do too, but he's been
I do too.
going after some really low hanging fruit.
Yeah, like come
I
on,
haven't really been able to watch.
Come on, bruh.
They're too obvious.
It's too easy. Like it's gotten to a point where he's like, I know you probably want me to shit on Bethesda. I'm not gonna do it. Doesn't have like a 30-second like dance sequence where he just says, where it's just a bunch of words like Bethesda's fucking trash or whatever. It's funny. Yeah, but yeah, that game's 30. So I think I spent like probably $60.
It's especially good that you're letting the masses know about all these great indie games, because again, as far as like killer ass games coming out, again, there's still
shit out.
Nothing. The only thing that's coming out this week is on Nintendo Switch tomorrow in the Super Nintendo app. There's a bunch of bullshit coming out, but amidst the bullshit is the Japanese version of Tetris Attack, which has never really been released over here in the States since it originally came out back in the mid 90s. And Tetris Attack, if you like falling block style puzzle games, is a really good one, and you should probably check that out. But that's all that's coming out. That's it. Nothing else is coming out. So,
well, that stinks. You know what doesn't stink? Terrence's background. You want to see it? Go to youtube.com/densepixels and subscribe. Every week, you get to see Terrence's new background. He's giving you a reason to come in every week to look at us, not just listen, to look at us. I know you're tired of my green wall, of my green accent wall. I know you're tired of Brad's Funko Pops and his James Bond book. You know what you're not going to get tired of? Terrence's background, because it changes every week just for you when you go to youtube.com/densepixels and subscribe.
That's right. I don't know what's going to be next week.
While you're over there just subscribing like some whore, go to, you could subscribe to the TNP Studios podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. These include the Nerdpocalypse, the flagship show, Black on Black Cinema. We just recorded a Black on Black Cinema. I don't know. We had a couple special guests on. I don't know if we are allowed to say who it was.
Not yet,
but
hopefully there's some overlap.
Yeah, hopefully.
For this show, I can't imagine why there wouldn't be.
You do not want to miss it. It not only were our guests hilarious, we're always hilarious. The guests were hilarious. The movie that we did was hilarious. It was one of the better shows in a sea of incredibly good shows. You can subscribe to Coming Distractions, our contemporary movie review podcast. If if you like hearing reviews of movies that came out back when we could walk around in the world, you could subscribe to that.
Should we do a review for The Last Dance on Coming Distractions? Does that count as a temporary movie?
I want to watch that, but I don't have cable.
It's
or
really
ESPN.
It's really good, but it's interesting in the way that like wrestling is interesting, because like the really interesting stuff is like all behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's what I don't give a fuck about the on-court shit. I was there.
Right.
Like I will say
happening backstage.
I will say this about The Last Dance. So Chris Hayes said something that kind of sums up my feelings. It's pretty amazing when you consider that Michael Jordan's production company was actually behind this, and they chose to present that version of Michael Jordan.
Right.
That's as the subject of the documentary.
Right. That's the best possible version of Michael Jordan.
Look, if this is not bad, but if it's as interesting as everyone says it is, and that's what they decided to show, that nigga's a piece of shit. Like, come on, And it's his production. He's like, look, yeah, fuck you. Yeah, that's me. Flaws and all, y'all still love me.
And they allowed Isaiah Thomas to speak on camera about Michael Jordan, who those two guys fucking hate each other, but they wouldn't allow Karl Malone to come on and say shit about Michael Jordan. Probably
Karl Malone
feels about Michael Jordan.
Right, because Karl Malone would have tracked down. He would have found the cameraman and he would have interrogated that person to find out where Michael Jordan is so he could fucking murder him. Subscribe to the weekly preview episode of Look Forward. Go to densepixels.com/premium. For $5 a month or $50 a year, you get access to not only all our free stuff, but the premium content, the wheat from the chaff, the airing of grievances is our Seinfeld podcast, where Jay and I sit and talk about Seinfeld episodes and how ridiculous they are. No Time to Bleed, our action movie review show podcast. We should probably schedule something rather soon. The Men with the Golden Tongues, the Iron Man, the show that everyone loves, Democrat or Republican. You can listen to Brad and I talk about spy movies, mostly centering on James Bond. Upstage Conversations. Carrie sits down with a rotating guest to talk about various musical movies and plays. This past one was Rent, the movie / musical that she absolutely loves, unequivocally, unabashedly, absolutely loves Rent. Her favorite.
Yeah, I think she said this. She said it was her favorite.
Yeah. She just ask her. Ask her. I dare you. I dare you to ask her how much she loves it. And you get the full episode of the Look Forward Political Podcast. Now look.
Yo.
I haven't had a chance to listen to the episode yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I have not.
So let me tell you this. If you've ever been curious about Look Forward, but you've never listened to any podcast, and you're like, I'm not sure if I want to pay $5 a month or $50 a year to listen to this whole thing, check out the preview episode this week, because you definitely get some hour 2 level content within the first hour on this week's show.
I mean, just
It's
check
51
out.
minutes in for those that are interested.
Look,
Like, I was crying laughing.
just check out the title and the image that goes along with the title.
Oh
Apparently,
my God.
apparently Mick Mulvaney is in some sort of banana deep throating situation here, and we have a starlet doing something to something, and there's a banana over it. So yeah, a little bit of hour 2 content apparently in hour 1. Look, if that doesn't make you subscribe, something else.
If you ever were curious to hear what that image sounds like, you might get that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I gotta listen to this now. Those come out every week. So yes, densepixels.com/premium. Please subscribe.
The news this week is full of relatively, I mean, it's all like quick hit stuff. There's not a whole lot to dive into with any of these stories. The first one is something that I don't know that a lot of folks were clamoring for, but you're getting it anyway. 2K Games is releasing a Mafia trilogy remastered later this year. It's coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
They're remastering Mafia 3?
Well, I doubt that's going to be remastered.
That doesn't make any
that
fucking
just came
sense.
out, right? So they will remaster the first two. The first Mafia, I did not realize. Did you guys know it was 18 years old at this point? It came out back in 2002.
Wasn't that like a PC only game for a while?
No, I don't think so.
Mafia, the first one?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought it came out on at the same time on all consoles.
I'm not sure. Oh, no, it says release on PlayStation 2, 2002.
Jesus.
And PC.
I mean, is that game like is this series worth a remaster? Like,
I liked Mafia 2. I really like Mafia 2.
Consider this. That Mafia 2, sorry, Mafia 1, my apologies, came out the same year as GTA 3, if I'm not mistaken, unless I'm getting my years.
I think GTA 3 came out a year before.
In the same time period then, in the same general time frame. So, and then also keep in mind that Mafia 1 probably not as good as GTA 3.
No.
You're right, Terrence. It came out in October of 2001. Grand Theft Auto 3 did. So yeah, so unless they're making changes to the gameplay, which it doesn't seem like they are, I don't know how that's going to hold up. We'll see. I've never heard anyone really talk with any sort of, adoration about the first Mafia game. Mafia 2 gets a lot of.
Yeah, Mafia 2 is good. That shit came out 8 years after the first one.
Right.
like, god damn. Okay.
So, but yeah, so those are getting remastered. No word yet on the exact release date, but sure, I guess that's happening.
Mafia 3 is getting. That just doesn't make sense to me. Okay,
I don't know if they're gonna really touch Mafia 3. Like, it'll probably be the version that comes with whatever DLC.
Yeah,
but I can't imagine they're gonna touch it up all that much.
I mean, they did patch it a little bit. I think they reworked some of the graphics from when it first came out to what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably just going to be the final version that you can buy now. I don't know.
I remember I was really excited for Mafia 3 because
because you play a black dude and you can kill Klansmen, and then it was like,
and it wasn't a good game, right? Like, it's not.
It was boring.
Yeah, it was very, very boring. And now, like, all I see when I see Mafia 3, dude, is I see like the third Hodge twin, and it just doesn't, and I'm just like, no, thank you.
Oh man, and them niggas doing a diamond and silk shtick now, which is unfucking fortunate.
Yeah, that sucks. But yeah, like, that's all I see now. So I had to delete it from my system. Like, Get it away from me. I'm done with you.
So last week's Summer Games Fest video, Jeff Keighley talked with folks from Epic who revealed Unreal Engine 5 for the first time. Now, look, I didn't watch this presentation. I have it bookmarked to go back to it, but it's kind of hard to really like watch a game engine presentation because it's basically showing you an optimized tech demo to show what the engine is capable of.
Yeah.
Which is cool. To me, the more important news here for developers is that you can actually start projects in UE4 and then you can just port them right over to UE5 once that comes out in late 2021. So that's cool that developers won't be behind the 8 ball when it comes out, that they can just, move their stuff over and just keep on trucking, which is a good thing. So again, it's we don't get too wheezy enough to talk about the nuances of game engines because we're not that well versed on that kind of stuff. That's definitely a programming side, but a big deal.
It looked good
in the gaming universe.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
it looked
what
good.
they're talking
but
about.
like, so does a Pixar movie. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. They were talking. I watched some of it. But they got a little too heavy into it. But some of the lighting looked really good, and it's fine, but it's not like it's the worst type of tease, right? Because it's like not that there's CG trailers are one thing, right? Like I know it's CG, but this the layperson will think, oh well, this is what games are going to look like right out the gate. And this is something that is incredibly like rehearsed and high polished, and it's going to take a little bit of time to get there.
Right.
But I mean,
I remember a tech demo from like 2013. I don't know if it was Unreal 4. I don't know what engine it was, but since then, like that, of course, and those are always like the most optimized version of that technology. Games look better than that now than that tech demo 7 years ago. So if this is kind of the base of what this can do, it's kind of exciting. Because if games are going to look better than what that tech demo showed, yeah. But at the same time, I don't give a fuck how realistic a game looks. If it plays like shit, I don't care.
Right.
Like I didn't play 3 fucking games. Children of Mortar is a fucking pixel art game. Right. Most fun I've had in a game in fucking 2 months. You know what I'm saying? So again, like graphics are one thing, but like, the gameplay still has to be there. It just does.
Right. They had that woman running around like every other Nathan Drake.
Right. It looked like it looked like Uncharted.
Right.
All right.
I mean, it was
really, really pretty Uncharted.
I mean, it looked better than the rubber duck demo, but that's because it wasn't a bunch of rubber ducks in a bathtub. You know what I mean?
Right. No, it looked really good. I'm not going to deny that, but
did.
like again, was that gameplay?
No.
Is it something that's possible? Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's just what the engine can do. That's all.
But it's in a small bite.
Yep.
So
arguably the bigger Epic news as far as short term, really didn't get talked about too much last week. So the Epic Online Services platform is now available, which is basically a free tool that developers can use to enable crossplay in their games or cross-platform play in their games, which is it's the same service that Epic uses to allow this to happen in Fortnite. That's a pretty big deal. So
yeah, I mean, Jesus, it's happening, people.
It is slowly but surely, and all it took was a company that can just print their own money to not care about making all the money to bring it to the masses. They're happy just making most of the money. Case in point, the Epic Game Store went down for 12 hours last week. Why, you ask? Because they were giving away Grand Theft Auto 5 for free. And so many people got it and was playing that it literally crashed the servers on the Epic Game Store.
I'm surprised there was still that many people that didn't have it.
Oh, I'm sure most of the vast majority.
They just wanted to get it again, like fuck
right.
it.
I'll just get it.
I mean, I'd download it again, whatever. But I probably wouldn't play it again because like I had a character from the place from Xbox 360 at like millions of dollars. I'm not starting to fuck over. I'm not using shark cards. Fuck you. So now I'm good. But everybody still loves that game.
Another company, by the way, Rockstar, who has decided, I guess we've made enough money.
Like, yeah, who cares?
We'll just give it away for.
It should be free to play at this point. It done made like $12 billion from the fucking thing.
Oh, just wait, hold that.
Jesus Christ!
Till later on.
Oh, you know what else game? You know what other game is cross-platform? Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. That's funny. Like it's cross-platform. Well, on any system.
I mean, Street Fighter 4 was technically cross-platform.
Was it?
You could play against people on PC.
Yeah, you could play. Yeah, you could play with people on PC.
The game doesn't exist on Xbox One, so it can't be cross-platform on that.
You mean Street Fighter 5?
That's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Yeah, you said 4.
I meant
yeah, the better game. Like you see, 5 is.
You're not wrong. So, a new Paper Mario was announced. The Origami King, or Origami King, if you fan of Heavy Rain.
If you're a Philadelphian by way of France, Origami.
Did Heavy Rain take place in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
That's
why it looked like a piece of shit. That's why everywhere was just sullen and wet and gross. And people just Jacob. Like that's how people in Philadelphia speak, according to the French.
You know what? It doesn't. They don't specify what city this movie takes place in, but I wouldn't be surprised if 7 was set in the city of Philadelphia.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Yeah, that movie's filthy.
At all.
That movie's really filthy.
I think it's supposed to be New York, but I think
is
it's
it?
a way not to. But then again, like they're within close proximity to a desert, so I don't know. It's gonna
right. That is, yeah. It was like nowhere city.
Right. I don't know.
Yeah, that was very strange.
If you're offended that we have shifted from talking about Paper Mario directly into 7, we're sorry. We just don't care that much about Paper Mario. Like I know there's fans of Paper Mario. But cool. Another Paper Mario game. I imagine it's gonna be pretty similar to the other Paper Mario games. They have
7 is a great movie.
It's an excellent movie.
Yeah, 7 is a great movie. And
I think it's the second week in a row that came up. Didn't someone mention John Doe's character last week in the post office? I feel like somebody did.
Yo, Kevin Spacey's name is Kevin Spacey Fowler.
What? Why they call it Fowler?
Yeah. All right.
We talked last week about Evo having, or 2 weeks ago actually, at this point, having to cancel their in-person tournament for an online event. Well, that was made official. However, not going to be a part of it. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. So in a world where, as Terrence talked about, fighting games have the worst netcode. Apparently, Smash Brothers' netcode is so bad to even be allowed to participate in Evo, or Nintendo didn't let them.
Well, first of all, yeah, it's either Nintendo's netcode has probably always been terrible, which it probably is, and Japanese fighting games are just have terrible netcode, unless you're in Japan.
I've never heard anyone talk about playing Smash online, ever.
There's a good reason for that. It's a terrible experience. Even today, like Brawl was really bad, and they haven't done too much to improve it since then. It's pretty rough.
Like, look at the games that they're having online tournaments for.
Oh yeah,
it's Mortal Kombat, American. Killer Instinct uses rollback. Whatever the fuck Herd Fighters is, that My Little Pony game looks kind of dope. Pony game. And Skullgirls, also really good fucking internet netcode. Yeah, but they pick those games on purpose.
Those are just open invitationals. They're not.
Yeah,
they're not even like the actual.
Yeah, they're not gonna have like real tournaments online because you can't. You can't. I'm telling you, you can't. But those games that they pick all have really good netcode, and none of them are Japanese.
Now it seems like that from what the press release says, it's not going to be like traditional Evo as we've come to expect it, because how the fuck could it be? Like, I don't even understand how that'd be possible. So they're saying Evo Online will feature, quote, special exhibitions and content from the announced lineup. And it's going to take place over the course of a month. So, like, basically every weekend in July, you're going to get some Evo to check out, with the last weekend in July, July 31st through August 2nd, being the only 3-day weekend of the bunch.
It's going to be weird.
It is going to be weird. Yeah, it is going to be very weird, especially not having it all condensed in that small form factor. It'll be curious if this goes well, to see if they use elements of this in the future. Like, I'm sure they're going to still do the big event in person, but I wonder if they might do these like open exhibitions for these smaller games that probably don't need to be there.
They could have easily. I'm getting an echo. They could have easily put Power Rangers in there, because that game has an excellent netcode. I don't know what I forgot his goddamn name. Malcolm was talking about. Yeah, I'm shitting on you, bro. Like, I've had plenty of matches and I have had no lag at all.
Do you think that not only, like, to piggyback off of what you said, Brad, do you think that once everything goes back to normal, not just to showcase smaller games, but to like expand Evo as an event, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how WrestleMania was 2 nights or whatever. Do you think they would do this over 2 weekends? Like the first set of games be one weekend, and then the next set of games be the following weekend, so that East Coasters don't have to sit up until 2 and 3 in the morning, like some fucking boxing match.
I don't know why they don't just do it like UFC pay-per-views. Like, I haven't watched too many UFC pay-per-views because it's not really my purview. But isn't the main event not usually the very last match on a UFC pay-per-view? Don't they usually have like an epilogue match kind of between two up-and-comers that takes place a little bit later?
I have no idea.
You're talking to the wrong person.
Okay.
I watch UFC highlights.
I only know this because when I used to work in the restaurant business, they used to show UFC pay-per-views in our sports theater. And so I was subjected to some of that. I don't usually watch MMA. So,
well, the thing is, like, for Evo, these people have to make their way there unless they're part of a team.
Yeah.
So,
you're right.
Like, that's a lot of money.
But I mean, if you won, it would cut down on multiple entrants going into multiple games, right? And I mean, if you want to see the same person, play different games, that's fine. But it would get new people there, right? Because you don't necessarily have to go the weekend that you're not playing.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just spitballing because the world is crashing down around us and it's leaving us not a lot of things to talk about.
Well, I will tell you.
And then the event organizers themselves, do they have the money for that? For 2 weekends?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. Because while we love it, like, look.
The Mandalay Bay. What the fuck?
I will tell you what is not collapsing underneath us, and that is Minecraft. We don't talk about Minecraft too much because it's kind of this forgotten thing that just perpetually exists. I saw this stat though, and I had to bring it up just because it's really fucking impressive. They just passed over 200 million copies sold lifetime of Minecraft over the course of 11 years. The more surprising number, 126 monthly active players last month in Minecraft. That is wild to me. That 11 years in, you're literally retaining 60% of your player base.
Yeah, that's nuts.
What consists of an active?
Meaning you logged in and played sometime during the month of April.
So 126 unique users.
Yes.
Hopped on fucking Minecraft.
Yes.
A decade into the game's lifespan.
Yes.
I don't get it. I get it. It's not because people have created impressive things on there, but golly.
I mean, it does warrant mentioning. We talked about it a few weeks ago that they added educational content into the Minecraft marketplace, so kids that are not able to go to school right now can still get some learning in in one of their favorite video games. But that's still just incredibly impressive. I mean, we look at games like Fortnite and like GTA and things of that nature and kind of go agog at their numbers. But even Fortnite, I can't imagine when you look at their downloads versus their active players, like it has to be, significantly less than these numbers are that Minecraft is putting up. One would assume, and that's a free game.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
Yeah, so this is a game that people pay $26 or however much it costs to pick it up. So, and can you also believe Minecraft's 11 years old at this point? Also,
yeah, no, Jesus.
So, but yeah, so there's that. That is the news for you for this week.
Sorry. Go to www.densepixels.com when you go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon even. And when you do and shop through Amazon, you give us a little bit of a finder's fee for sending you there. What should we look up for people to buy on Amazon today? If you want GTA 5 shark cards for your new game, you can go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon and type in GTA 5 shark card. You can get $3.5 million for $50. That sounds like a deal.
I mean, that's the going rate for Minecraft currency. For a cool $100, you can get $8 million in Minecraft bucks.
Oh, snap. That's an extra $1 million. I am very curious about the economy of that game.
I didn't even know the game had an economy.
I mean, insofar as how much real money do you spend on the things in the game, essentially?
Yeah, like
how many GTA dollars does like a cool car cost?
Right. Like if you're able to just drop $8 million into your bank account, I mean, I figured you should be able to buy every car in that game.
I don't think
I had about 26 million. I mean, I cheated to get it, but I had it. That was when the game was glitched up.
Terrence.
$45 million, bought all the houses, all the cars, hooked everything up, and I didn't give a fuck. But that was like 6 years ago.
Well,
So
I'm sure they've
yeah, I'm pretty sure they patched that. Yeah,
we'll see. We go to the post office. Ask you questions that you can ask us. Actually, no, you're asking the questions. We're answering the questions. That's how this works. Trey says, I know it's cheap to develop. Is partly why a lot of indie developers are beating off to the 8-bit aesthetic. But will they ever move on to aping the 16-bit look? Some games do the 16 bits or a hybrid of the two, where you kind of get like the 8.5-bit art style. Like Dead Cells to me is kind of in that realm where it's not quite as polished as 16-bit, but it's definitely better fidelity.
I would consider Dead Cells more of a 16-bit.
Is it? Okay.
It looks more like a Contra, Super Contra. What was the name of it? Just SNES Contra?
It's Contra 3.
What?
No, Super C.
No, Super C?
Super C, yeah. So.
No, I thought that was a Genesis one.
Contra 3 definitely came out on SNES.
The Alien Wars. Which one was that?
Yeah, that was Contra 3.
Contra 3.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it all depends on what you're going for. It's just that like a lot of the really popular indie games did the 8-bit things. I think that one gets floated up.
Yeah, and while they do the 8-bit, like the animation is far better because they had like it's 8-bit, but like it's got really smooth animation, kind of like Children of Mortar. Animation in the game is really good.
Yeah, like I've railed on not liking that art style of just a bunch of colored squares doing things, but when those colored squares make me think that they're an actual woman shooting an actual bow and arrow, I'm like, all right, I get it.
It's like, you got me.
Johnny posts a picture of what are the citizens of Ghana like? What's the proper
I don't know.
Is it Ghanaian?
I think they're Ghanaian.
Ghanaian? of the famous Ghanaian pallbearers carrying a casket with the Smash logo adorned on it. They're all, but you put the Evo logo over top of their heads. He also asks, he says, referencing something I said a couple weeks ago, who else but fighting games will cover Evo when we were talking about the shitty netcode, and I said people will be expecting it. He makes the point that Evo is kind of like the WrestleMania of the fighting game community, where outlets outside of the FGC will pay attention to it. And I agree with him. But I don't know how willing a place like an ESPN or a TBS would be to put on to air like an online Evo. Like, it's one thing to do it.
They ain't gonna do that.
You have the stadium,
especially with these games,
right? That was
like
more,
they do it for Street Fighter because Capcom paid.
Right. Also correct.
Right.
Yeah. So. Oh no, yeah. The Capcom sponsored that.
And everyone knows, and everybody knows what the hell Street Fighter is.
Also correct. Yeah, and that's
Killer Instinct
with ESPN. Like when ESPN aired the Evo finals, correct me if I'm wrong, they just aired the Street Fighter grand final. Yeah. It's not like they aired the whole
it was like 11 or 30 at night.
Right. So.
And then they were like, you can't pick that female wrestler because her tits are hanging out.
Right. You can't play Armika. Like, what?
You can't wear that outfit because nah.
Anthony says, I have both an Xbox One and a PS4. I primarily play the PS4 and Xbox is used for media. I got Game Pass to download some games for my kid. What are some good games for kids that you know of? Also, I got Ori and the Will of the Wisps. What are some other platforming Metroidvania type games I should check out? Do we want to tackle the latter question first? The best like Metroidvania style game, or sorry, Metroid style game.
Shit. The first Guacamelee 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got that. I forgot. I got Guacamelee 2. That's like $3.
Yeah, well, it is definitely worth
like $3-4.
Yeah, well worth it. I played the shit out of that game when I bought it. So
that Guacamelee for $3 is worth more value to me than the Division for $3.
It's $5.99 right now, Anthony. So pick that up if you don't have it. PlayStation 4. It's great. It's a good game.
I've really enjoyed what I've played of Bloodstained so far. That's definitely more on the Castlevania
That's
side
also on sale
than the Metroid style of things, but pretty good.
I don't know how much it's on sale because I already have it. Then they don't tell me the price when you own the fucking game. But it's on sale.
I heard
Blasphemous
game. I heard Blasphemous is a good game. It's
yeah. There's another game. It's kind of tough. You play like a little head that's got a cape. I have it. I can't remember the name of it. It's a little white figure. It's a Metroidvania style game.
Holy Knight or whatever.
No.
Hollow Knight's in that.
Hollow Knight. Yes. Yeah, that's a good game. It's tough.
I will tell you,
fucking hard.
I would not endorse Hollow Knight. I did not care for Hollow Knight very much. I
really like it.
First level, and I was like, this is not for me.
It's not an easy game. It's really fucking hard, God damn.
And if you want like an old school pick, that I think is on PS4, Shadow Complex. No one talks about that game anymore, but that was really good.
Yeah, Shadow Complex. They re-released it on Xbox One.
Yes, because it was written by a bigot, apparently.
Was it really?
Orson Scott Card wrote that.
Oh, I didn't realize he had anything to do with that. Okay.
Yep. And
that's a good one.
That's one of Jay's favorite games. Like, he doesn't know shit about games, but he will bring up Shadow Complex. I heard The Messenger is good if you like old Ninja Gaiden games. So there you go.
As far as games for kids,
yeah, Messenger looks exactly like Ninja Gaiden.
See, as far as games for kids goes, just get him age appropriate stuff and just kind of see what he likes. Like have him try different things and kind of like that's what anytime a parent would come into GameStop and ask what to get for their young child, I told them, I was like, with kids you have to just kind of throw shit against the wall and see what sticks. So like I said, I wouldn't let him play anything that's past the maturity level as far as the content stuff goes, but let him try a whole bunch of stuff and see what he likes and then go from there. So if you want generic options like the Lego series, Minecraft are solid pickups as well, just as a generic recommendation.
Yeah. Are you gonna read Johnny's?
I am. So Johnny posted a screenshot of a post.
Oh my god.
And the question is this: which big fighting game company will break first and improve their netcode? Capcom or Bandai Namco? Also, are you guys watching the Owen episode of Dark Side of the Ring? Owen Hart was one of my favorites, and I watched the Over the Edge pay-per-view live. Curious of your thoughts. Signed, Malcolm, aka Zucked Inmate 8701. So I guess Malcolm's in Facebook jail.
Damn, you get in Facebook jail, man. You had to get
What'd you
Johnny to
do?
come and put something on your butt, yo. What did he do? I mean, find something controversial, non-controversial, and then he picked the opposite of it. And that got him
8701. That's our Usher album, isn't it?
I think it is.
It isn't it? Hold on, let me. Yeah, hold on. 8701.
To answer your first question,
yeah, it is.
I see Namco updating their netcode way before Capcom. I think Capcom is just kind of. I think Capcom is. It's weird because like they kind of listen to fans and to criticism, but then again they kind of don't, right? Like they'll pump out Resident Evil 2 because like everyone wants it, and they're like, oh, okay, but they didn't do it because everyone wanted it. They did it because we ain't got nothing else. So let's do this, and it's a guaranteed payday.
Well, here's the thing. Like I said 2 weeks ago or last week, rollback netcode with GGPO, they know it's good, but they wanted to make their own. And they didn't have anyone in-house that knew how to do it. But apparently it's incredibly easy to do. But they don't want to use the method that the other company or like these two dudes created 20 years ago to put in their games because they want everything in-house. That's why Capcom is stupid. Like their games are great lately, but like that's one thing that they're just fucking stubborn on. Bandai Namco, I don't know what the fuck is going on with them, but whatever. So if I was to choose, Bandai Namco would probably be first.
Yeah. I have not watched the Owen Hart episode.
Is that tonight or tomorrow?
I think it's tonight. Owen Hart is a character. He's a figure that causes me to grapple with a difficult situation. That is how much ownership, I guess, is for lack of a better term. Probably not the most eloquent term, but how much ownership do fans have over celebrities that they love? And what I mean by that is I can't decide if I agree with his widow's decision to basically be contentious with the WWE in terms of celebrating his career, because he should be in the WWE Hall of Fame, and you can argue about what that actually constitutes. And it would be a good thing for his fans to give him the opportunity to be celebrated in the way that he deserves to be. But she won't do it because she fucking hates the WWE and the wrestling business,
which is understandable.
Which I
100% understandable.
And the other side of the equation. So yeah, that's a tough one. It's I guess a good thing that finally someone was able to get her to let her tell her side of the story, and get her on the record and be able to present kind of both sides of that whole situation.
Yeah, I'm surprised that, because they kind of loopholed China into it through the DX inauguration, but
they were keeping her out for different reasons. Like
right,
I'm sure Vince would like to put Owen Hart in, but he can't get the sign on from his family.
I mean, and that's what I question. Like
here's the thing. Before you continue, like Bret Hart was able to reconcile.
Yes,
and that was his fucking brother. Yeah,
right. her thing is that obviously she blames WWE for causing it in the first place, and she also doesn't want them to be able to profit from it.
Right. It makes sense. I get it, but like he deserves to be in the fucking Hall of Fame. He was just as good as his brother.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I think I gotta side with the wife on this one. It's just too, like if I were her, Vince McMahon has to die before. Like for real.
Yeah. Like, and he's probably not really a likable guy,
right?
But he's one of those like charming dudes, but like you got to be a dick to be a billionaire. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You do.
But by the same token, though, when that happens, like a lot of the guys our age will be, in our 50s, and then the younger wrestling fans won't know who the fuck Owen Hart is. You know what I mean? Because they'll have very little context.
Well, how old is Vince McMahon? He's in his 70s, right?
72, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He and Donald Trump are the same goddamn age.
Yeah.
So, right. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. That's a tough one to watch as well.
And see, the fact that you don't know if you're going to watch that, would you watch him be in the Hall of Fame?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But you would probably get. This is the difference.
Like this has
real.
nothing to do. Yeah, this has nothing to do with the WWE's not profiting off of this.
Right, but
at all.
This is real. Whereas
my point is, though, I don't know if I want to necessarily revisit that specific, because they're talking about the incident. They're not going to talk about his career. I mean, they might touch on his career as a whole, but the focus of the episode is going to be
it is
around his death.
Oh, I thought it was going to be basically like his rise, and then
it's going to be his.
The whole hour is going to be that. And well, then,
I'm sure they will set the table for folks that might not be as well versed in Hart's career, but I would imagine that the bulk of the episode is going to center around.
Did you watch the Benoit one?
No, I haven't watched any of this.
Oh, you didn't? No. Oh, you haven't watched the season at all. Okay, all right, never mind.
Why did they not? Did they kind of gloss? Did they actually spend time talking about?
No, that was the whole fucking thing. It was 2 goddamn episodes.
It was 2 episodes. They talk about his life. From, from when he started wrestling. And half of that was with Eddie Guerrero also. So, kind of thrown in there. So.
I had to listen to a Sports Criminals did a podcast on Chris Benoit before the show. And it was a little bit more informative than the Beyond the Ring or the Dark Side of the Ring.
See, my issue is that the WWE is not going to talk about it. Like that's a huge elephant in the room, and I get.
Yeah, you can't gloss over that.
They would talk about it in that it's in the terms of the tragedy, but obviously they're not going to like put themselves out there and be
like, are they even going to mention like let's say he did get in, are they going to mention the Blue Blazer at all?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that's essential to his story. At least the early Blue Blazer, like when he first broke in and was playing that character.
It's a sticky wicket.
It's not like I don't feel any, like if I go back and watch WrestleMania 5, I don't feel any kind of way watching the Blue Blazer wrestle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it. Like I think I'm having issue. Like if the Hall of Fame weren't a kayfabe Hall of Fame,
right?
Then I would be a little more gung ho in saying, hey, this guy deserves to be this.
But see, you say that, but yet he, like when they would talk about him, they would talk about his, like who he really was, because like everyone's got a fucking Owen Hart story. Like everyone from the fucking Attitude Era has like a beaming Owen Hart story. I think the only guy that probably didn't care for him in particular was actually Steve Austin for obvious reasons.
Oh yeah,
but he broke his fucking neck.
Right, but everybody else talks, speaks very highly of him and his personality and that kind of stuff. So I think you would actually get a lot of that. You'd actually get a lot of the Mick Foley's talking about, riding up and down the road for him and his reputation as a practical jokester and things of that nature as well. So I don't know. It's that to me is almost tougher than like the Chris Benoit situation, just because Chris Benoit had like made a really fucking awful choice to do what he did. whereas Owen Hart was more of a victim of that circumstance. So,
yeah.
Brian says, if you could do a podcast with a choice of people, past or present, who worked within the video game industry, or video game characters, what would the show be about, and who would you choose to do it with?
Not that second name.
he mentioned Shigeru Miyamoto, Randy Pitchford, and Jeff Keighley.
He spelled it wrong.
Yeah, who's Jeff Keighley?
I think he spelled both names wrong.
No, I wouldn't like. It's one thing to do like an interview with somebody like that. Like that would be interesting. There's a whole slew of people that you could put on that list. As far as doing a podcast though, like a regular show, I wouldn't want to do it with anyone but my friends, because you wouldn't.
I wouldn't want to do an interview. I wouldn't want to do a podcast with Shigeru Miyamoto. First of all, he would do nothing but smile at me the whole fucking time. Like, can you say something, please? Yeah.
Right. Pitchford would be like, "Is this your card? Is this your card? Is this your card?" I'm a bad magician.
I'd want to fight him. I'd like, yo, over. Just get out of my face.
No, there's a lot of folks. Like, I think Reggie Fils-Aimé would be an interesting interview, and not for reasons that you think. I think it would actually be very interesting to talk to him about the difficulty of being the president of Nintendo of America for a very Japanese-run company. Because I know personally that there's a lot of a lot of contentiousness between those two entities. You might not think that it would be the case, but
how do you bridge that fucking gap?
Japan calls the shots, and America has to go on no matter what. Basically, the
weird ass Japan. I'd like to interview what's the guy? What the fuck is his name? The dude that does the Metal Gear Solid game, just to ask him what the fuck his problem is.
Like all Terrence's interviews would just be him just be like, "What the fuck is your problem?" Like he would cam everybody basically.
I couldn't be a journalist, man. Like having to ask questions and then them not giving me answers would fucking piss me off. It'd lose my mind. Like, so you're just not going to answer the question. All right, fuck you. Whatever.
The Jim Acosta of video game journalism. Yeah, but this doesn't make any sense. You don't make any sense. Next question. Like,
what? All right, all right, cool.
But yeah, like I said, there's a slew of interesting interview subjects.
Cliff Bleszinski.
Nope.
Like, so what happened?
Fucking, I don't want to interview great value Elon Musk. No, thank you.
How does it feel to have peaked at 27 years of age? Or however old he was when Years of War came out.
Like, I'd want to interview like indie developers.
Yeah, they'd be far more interesting.
Yeah, because they have very little resources to work with compared to everybody else, and they crank out really good games. And they're all gamers, right?
But yeah, that'd be one to think about. For later on down the road. Kind of caught me unprepared for that question. Anthony says, "Who wins in a fight, Cam or Fam?" What type of fight is it? Hardcore rules, match TLC. Does another Gullet come out and swing the match for Fam? Tam Gullet, I think Pam Gullet, their sister, probably would show up during such a match.
So Cam is what kind of match would it be, right? Like, because there's Cam, and then Fam is like Bizarro Cam. and
is he Bizarro in every way though?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think so. Like, I think Cam and Fam might have a little more in common than Cam would like to admit. I don't think it would be a cage match. Like, Cam has he's a runner, so he's probably got a lot of good cardio. You know what I mean? So it's got to be something like high flying, or like an Iron Man match. But like, I don't want to see an Iron Man match between Cam and Fam. I want to see like a TLC match with Cam and Fam, or a ladder match at the very least. And
I want to see a Hell in a Cell match.
Well, that might work
with a ladder in it.
Cam,
why not?
Fam?
Fam better be black. Because if not, he's fucking blackfacing it up on the
I think Cam is black, and I think Fam got zucked and is inmate 701.
Oh shit.
John asks that I asked this question a couple weeks ago. Micah artfully dodged it though, so we're pinning him down. We're putting him on the record. So we obviously know that Micah hates dogs, and we know that he hates birds now as well. So Micah, what animals do you like?
I don't think I like any animals. I don't think I like any living animal. Like if it's on a plate prepared by a chef, I love that animal. But you're not gonna see me hug a dog. Cats are you would see me hug a dog before you see me pet a cat. Gerbils, hamsters, squirrels, they're all rodents. I don't like rodents. They're just rats to me. Ducks, geese are fucking assholes, and geese are not afraid of you. Geese will
they really are not.
You, yo. I used to work at Patapsco wastewater treatment plant in South Baltimore, and there were a ton of geese there, and I got into a fight with a goose, and because he was coming after me. And I used to have keys on a lanyard, and I would just swing the lanyard like they're nunchucks because I'm a weeb. And I got too close to a goose, and he started running, and then a bunch more started running, and then I had to run because geese don't back down. Fuck geese, man.
They really don't. They don't give a fuck.
They go around shit all over the place like it's their wastewater treatment plant. It's not yours, bruh. It's not. I don't like to swim. Nothing. There's nothing good in the water. Nothing. Jellyfish will sting you. Jellyfish are so bad that you have to get pissed on if they sting you. And ain't nobody peeing on me. So I'ma die. Sharks eat people.
I'll die on this.
Nope. I'ma die. Sharks eat people. I don't like any animals, man. I don't like any animals. Yeah, that's my answer. Animals are terrible, and I don't want a pet. I had goldfish at one point. I had two goldfish, and they both died. One died because he didn't get enough to eat, and the other died because he ate all the fucking food. So nah. Goldfish will just let you down. Fuck animals, man.
Like I said, this is true because Jay used to have a little French bulldog, and every time Micah would like that dog. French bulldogs are so excited to see everybody.
Was it a French bulldog? Or was it a Boston Terrier?
Oh, you're actually right. It's a Boston Terrier. They all look the fucking same.
They all look the same because they're fucking dogs. Who cares?
Poor Remus would be so excited and go up to Micah and be all short of breath as he was prone to being, and Micah couldn't care less. He looked at that dog with the most disdain that you could possibly muster.
By the time Remus had become of age, Remus and I, first of all, you can tell this is when Jay had the white girlfriend because his dad was Uncle Remus. And so
wait, what? I don't think.
Oh, is it? Well, that Harry Potter character is racist as shit because all I think of is Uncle Remus.
Well, so, you know what? Whatever. Why do you even allow that?
Look, this was when Jay thought that he was with a Caucasian woman, and it just turns out he was with just another regular ass white woman. And you know how white women are. Well, by the time Remus matured, he and I had a very good understanding. I would walk into his house and he would look up, I would look at him, and then we would just go about our separate ways. And it's the best relationship I've ever had with any type of animal because he just left me alone. I don't know what's up with his dog now. Fucking Baxter Stockman. I don't know what is up with him. But his ass needs to calm down. He is way too big to be all friendly.
No, that's
quite frankly.
That's how they roll.
quite frankly, I think I need to call CPS because that dog is huge and they got a baby. And I'm sure that, and in my mind, if a dog is bigger than a human, the dog is going to eat the human. That's what happens in my mind.
That dog is a big baby.
That dog ain't gonna.
Dog is a giant.
That baby beat the shit out of that dog. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So Chris asks a weird question. He says, "Who's got the biggest dick in the gaming industry?" I'm going to pivot that question, and we're going to answer it, but we're going to answer it in terms of who in the gaming industry has like brass balls. Like, who's the most, audacious person that exists?
That's Jeff. Jeff Keighley is like, Jeff's like, hey, when's this game coming out?
He gets
when's this game coming out?
Like he would just like
he would be.
He look like a fool on camera.
Right. It would be me. That would be my style of interview. I'm like, I'm not. Don't give me a bullshit answer. Like, so you're just not gonna answer the question? Is what you're telling me?
He's one of the few people in gaming that could actually like be like a politics reporter if he wanted, if he was so inclined to be. Like, he's that good. He's got that kind of attitude about him when it comes to interviewing folks. So it's probably him.
They like to hold people's feet to the fire.
Yeah, probably.
And he's super popular because of it. So yeah, him. Hideo Kojima, that nigga's just crazy. And Reggie Fils-Aimé just looks weird.
I mean, look, I'm not afraid to answer this very homoerotic question. Who has the biggest dick? Look, I'm gonna be racist, right? I'm gonna be racist. Not Hideo Kojima. Not him. Jeff Keighley. I mean,
he's white.
He might be average, but he's probably got balls that are bigger than his dick. Reggie Fils-Aimé, because that guy's 6'2". He's not.
That's it. I thought he was taller than that.
He's sick. That's how short everybody else is in the world.
Jesus Christ! That nigga was like 6'7".
Yeah, they trotted him out next to Japanese folks all the time.
Right.
So he's gonna look like
a fucking giant.
That dude is 6'2", and he's from the Bronx.
Yeah,
like I gotta imagine that dude is slinging. That's why he's like, my body's ready. My body is ready. Let's fucking do this. And then it's just like, like tall people, we're well endowed. Sorry, it just is. If you're 5'10" and under, you're probably at like a Keighley level.
Well, we are an hour too. So that is the appropriate content for past the paywall. We'll end it with Gustavo. Gustavo, man, you picked the wrong week to ask this question. What kind of island would Terrence and Jay have if they played Animal Crossing? Carrie would be best suited to answer this because none of the three of us know.
I have a clue what that even means.
Terrence's island would be barren because there's no way that he's going to play Animal Crossing. So his potential island doesn't even exist. Jay would probably be planting as much shit as he can, and his island would reflect his home.
I just missed like the last 10 seconds of what you said because my shit skipped.
I said Jay would probably his Animal Crossing island would probably mirror his house, where he would be planting as many different vegetables and fruits as he possibly could. In his garden. Jay is also very interested in the economic aspects of Animal Crossing. So he would do everything that he can to trade his wares.
But specifically in relation to the gardening.
Yes.
It's very weird. Like if they were selling CDs or whatever, if you could like just have a bunch of, he wouldn't be interested. But because you can grow turnips and shit, it's like,
is that the main currency in that game?
Turnips have the highest potential for like large investments.
The fuck?
They have the best ROI.
Yeah, they do. Whereas other vegetables, and the way that other vegetables work is that like every island apparently, and this is all coming from my wife, so if I'm messing any of this stuff up, you can feel free to correct me, but I'm not going to care. According to my wife, every island has like one fruit or vegetable that they specialize in growing. And if your island doesn't grow that vegetable, the only way that you can get it is by buying it from other players. So like that's kind of the whole thing. And the reason why you want to make friends in the outside of the game is because so you have someone to sell your shit to, and so that you can get different types of goods that you can't produce yourself. It's very much like an economic simulator in a lot of ways, it seems like. You have to trade with other islands in order to get the things that you want. And you have to have not only a robust trade industry and a high GDP, but also a robust buying industry as well to create trade relationships with other islands.
Yo, that's wild to me.
It's very sneaky. Nintendo's sneaking in capitalism essentially into their family video game.
Right.
All right.
Right. And a congresswoman is playing that game and people laugh because it's like, oh, she's playing a game. Nah, yo, she's practicing her
She's 28
economic strategy.
Right. Fuck. Like people realize like these people grew up where there has been just were born when like the PlayStation came out.
Yo, that's
like
AOC's
first game console was probably a Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We're old.
So, but yeah, so like I said, Animal Crossing has global trade. It has high interest loans. It has all sorts of stuff that you can translate into. It has a stock market. Got all sorts. What? The turnip market's basically a stock market, Micah. You buy low and you try to sell high.
Turnip. Okay.
So. But yeah, that's it for the show this week. Thank you guys for your questions. Don't forget, if you want to submit questions to the Dense Pixels post office, you have to join our fan group, densepixels.com/fans. Join up on Facebook. Make sure you subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/densepixels. You can follow Terrence on Twitch at Apparition410. You can follow Carrie on Twitch at Summons Carrie. She's not going to be on probably quite as much because she got a new job. So she started that this week. That's where she's been busy getting ready for that. But she's going to be streaming there, I'm sure. So that is it for us this week. Thank you guys for watching and listening. We'll see you all next week.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.